I'm 75 now, and I can't remember anybody except the Queen being there.
Have you ever wondered what happens when centuries of royal tradition collide with personal grievances and unspoken tensions? Today, we're diving into a story that's shaking the foundations of the British monarchy, rumored legal action by Prince William and Princess Anne against Queen Camilla. For an institution that prides itself on decorum and discretion, these developments are nothing short of shocking. If you're curious about what's unfolding behind palace walls and why it could change the royal family forever, stay tuned. Royal watchers have spent decades following every twist and turn in the lives of Britain's most famous family. Yet rarely do we see public legal conflicts within the House of Windsor. Behind the polished crowns and gilded state carriages, there's a world of unwritten rules, tacit agreements, and subtle power plays. Most differences among the royals are traditionally handled discreetly. Closed-door discussions, private letters, and quietly arranged compromises are the norm. That's why reports suggesting Princess Anne and Prince William have initiated or are on the verge of initiating legal proceedings against Queen Camilla have caused such an uproar. It runs counter to almost everything we've come to expect from the firm, as insiders often refer to the monarchy. Many question the credibility of these rumors. Others wonder if this legal step is purely symbolic or if there's real substance behind it. Regardless of how far the action goes, it's clear that tension has been brewing for a long time. Royal insiders point to various issues that could have compelled Anne and William to consider this drastic measure, issues spanning from the memory of Princess Diana to Camilla's once contentious public image, and even to the ways in which King Charles III's reign has been reshaped by the new queen. One thing's certain, this situation signals a deep divide that may be rooted as much in personal history as in formal protocol. Princess Anne has long been admired for her steadfast commitment to duty and her almost uncanny ability to stay out of the tabloids. She's known for her grounded demeanor, her minimal fuss approach, and her intense work ethic. More than once, she has been dubbed the hardest working royal, clocking in hundreds of engagements a year. Unlike many of her relatives, she avoided bestowing royal titles on her children, Zara and Peter, aiming to give them more freedom and a taste of life beyond palace gates. This practicality is a hallmark of Anne's character. She's never seen much use for empty pomp. Yet, the same woman who's famous for privately resolving issues has now, according to reports, engaged in something as public as a legal move. It's a jarring departure from her norm. Those who admire her no-nonsense style are asking what on earth could have happened to trigger this reaction. Some speculate that Queen Camilla's ascendancy since King Charles took the throne has overshadowed Anne, reducing her influence in matters she considers important. Others suggest that Anne's motivations trace back decades to the tangled histories of relationships, personal slights, and an intense loyalty to certain members of the family whose legacies she feels must be protected. Whatever the reason, it reveals the complexity of a royal family that, from the outside, often appears monolithic, but is, in reality, made up of individuals with differing goals, emotions, and perspectives. Queen Camilla's journey to the throne was anything but straightforward. Before the public ever heard whispers of a relationship with Charles, she led a relatively private life, attending parties, mingling in aristocratic circles, but never at the forefront of media attention. Then everything changed when her involvement with Charles became public, especially as it overlapped with his troubled marriage to Princess Diana. For years, Camilla was vilified in the press, labeled the other woman, and singled out as the person many blamed for Diana's heartbreak. Even after Diana's passing, it took a long time for public sentiment to warm to Camilla. She underwent a rigorous transformation, carefully curated by royal advisors, to shift her image. She championed charitable causes, most notably for victims of domestic violence and sexual abuse, gradually demonstrating that she had substance and compassion. Over time, Queen Elizabeth II herself became more accepting of Camilla, eventually supporting her as queen consort, which was a major shift from the earlier stance that she might only ever be titled princess consort. Still, trust isn't always easy to come by in the royal family. Some members remained wary, wondering whether her rise was orchestrated through careful maneuvering or was genuinely the result of an unexpected love story. Prince Harry famously characterized her as dangerous, implying she navigated the royal system shrewdly. Whether you believe that depiction or not, there's no denying Camilla's new role has real authority, an authority that might have clashed with Anne's deeply ingrained sense of hierarchy and tradition. Meanwhile, Prince William has been groomed since birth to be the future king. He has often tried to honor the memory of his late mother, Princess Diana, even as he balances his duties alongside Father Charles and now stepmother Camilla. William remains acutely aware of how the media once hounded Diana. He's seen firsthand the traumatic toll that life in the limelight can take. As he's grown older and stepped further into his royal responsibilities, William has become more vocal about mental health, children's issues, and the modern role of the monarchy. The question burning in many minds is what would push someone like William, who has historically been measured and cautious, to consider legal action against his stepmother if indeed the rumors are true. Is it a matter of protecting his mother's legacy, an attempt to contain or correct certain narratives about Camilla, or something more procedural, like disputes over official titles and roles within the court? Perhaps he's following the example of his aunt, Princess Anne, who is likewise fiercely protective of her own vision for the monarchy's future. Or maybe there's another trigger we haven't seen yet. The simple fact is that William, though second in line to the throne, wields considerable influence over the monarchy's public image. A public clash with Camilla would be a remarkable stand, one that could signal deeper fractures within the royal machine. Princess Anne's own history with Camilla is a tangled web. Decades ago, Anne and Andrew Parker Bowles, Camilla's former husband, were romantically linked. Anne's romance with Andrew was stymied in large part by old laws and social constraints, including Andrew's Catholic upbringing. The monarchy's rules about marrying Catholics were notoriously restrictive, effectively shutting down any chance of a wedding between Anne and Andrew. Meanwhile, Camilla was also in the picture, forming ties to Charles while periodically connecting with Andrew. The complexities of these overlapping relationships sowed seeds for potential resentments and rivalries. Yet, over the years, Anne and Camilla appeared to make peace. They attended events side by side, shared laughs in front of cameras, and even hosted charitable functions together. Observers believe time had healed old wounds, but if modern reports are correct, that healing might have been superficial. The rumored legal proceedings suggest a deeper fault line, perhaps fueled by a sense that Camilla's new status has overshadowed Anne's long-standing dedication, or that key decisions made by the newly minted queen rubbed Anne the wrong way. Whatever the reality, it proves that no matter how carefully royals attempt to manage their reputations, old conflicts can bubble back up with renewed vigor. Prince Harry's disclosures about Camilla in his memoir and interviews add yet another layer to the intrigue. Harry painted Camilla as a strategic operator, someone who slowly but surely cultivated the right alliances and shaped her public image to eventually emerge as queen. While Harry's relationship with William has been under intense strain, particularly after his departure from royal duties, the two brothers share a history shaped by Diana's painful experiences. Harry's stance could either corroborate William's concerns or, conversely, make William appear more determined to show a united front with Camilla, unless he believes Harry's perspective has merit. Royal watchers have theorized that if William truly feels Camilla overstepped her bounds, he might see himself as defending his mother's memory and upholding a moral standard. On the other hand, William could be motivated by more pragmatic concerns, perhaps stepping in to protect the line of succession, ensuring nothing disrupts the monarchy's stability. In either scenario, the rumored legal action is extraordinary. With so many unresolved dynamics, Anne's personal history, Harry's candid critiques, William's direct line to the throne, and Camilla's controversial evolution, it's no wonder onlookers are riveted. For her part, Queen Camilla has tried to keep a calm exterior. She's been dutifully carrying out engagements and solidifying her presence as a respected royal figure. Her supporters point to her many charitable endeavors, her approachable manner at public events, and her willingness to address once taboo issues. They argue that she's proven her capacity to handle a queen's role, having stepped up significantly once she became Duchess of Cornwall, and now continuing that dedication as queen. Yet for traditionalists, Camilla's position remains a subject of debate. Some still see her as the woman who disrupted Charles and Diana's marriage, while others believe it's time to move on. Even among the royals themselves, acceptance has come in degrees. Queen Elizabeth II giving Camilla the go-ahead as queen consort was monumental, but that doesn't necessarily ensure unwavering support from every family member, especially those deeply loyal to Diana's memory, or those who fear Camilla's presence, could realign certain aspects of palace authority. The monarchy relies on public unity to maintain respect and legitimacy, so any sign of discord, let alone a legal dispute, poses a significant image problem. King Charles III, stepping into his role late in life, has his own challenges. He must navigate the monarchy in a world that's increasingly skeptical of hereditary privilege. On paper, his reign is marked by a desire to modernize, particularly emphasizing climate issues, an area he's long championed. But any modernization project requires consensus within the royal family. If Camilla's new role is causing friction, Charles is in a delicate position. Does he side with his wife to maintain the dignity of the throne, or work to appease his sister and son, whose support he critically needs for stability? There's also the broader question of how well Charles's and Camilla's leadership style aligns with that of William and Anne. Royal duties aren't just ribbon-cutting ceremonies and charity events. They involve shaping the institution's identity. Every generation introduces subtle shifts, from how accessible the royals are to the public to how they handle public relations crises. Charles knows that his time on the throne is finite. So does he risk alienating William, the future king, by not addressing his concerns? Does he risk angering Anne, a stalwart of the family's hard-working image? These predicaments highlight the complexity of monarchy. Beneath the formalities, there are family dynamics that would challenge any household, let alone a centuries-old institution watched by millions around the world. Princess Anne's track record offers clues about her possible motivations. She has repeatedly demonstrated that duty ranks above personal comfort. Whether visiting charities abroad or quietly supporting causes like Save the Children, Anne has embodied the notion that royals should serve as a symbol of dedication and resilience. Over time, she has been overshadowed in headlines by younger royals, by controversies in other branches of the family, and by Camilla's gradual acceptance. Still, her longevity and consistent presence have solidified her as a pillar of the institution. If Anne does feel that Camilla's path to the throne was overly politicized or overshadowed crucial family values, she might see legal action as a last resort to safeguard the monarchy's integrity. It could be about ensuring that the promises made by Elizabeth II, for instance, about upholding certain traditions, remain intact. Or perhaps there are more specific legal or estate-related concerns that tie into how titles, assets, or responsibilities are distributed. Anne has never been one to fling accusations without cause. The fact that she's even rumored to be involved suggests gravity in the circumstances. Speculation also revolves around William's side of the story. Some wonder whether he's acting not just independently, but perhaps in step with other family members who are hesitant to take the limelight. William has matured from a shy prince into a confident figure spearheading environmental initiatives, mental health campaigns, and modern parenting. He's mindful of the monarchy's public image and, by extension, his future as king. If he suspects that Camilla's influence disrupts that image, either by reigniting old controversies about Diana or potentially marginalizing certain family voices, he might step in, hoping to contain a situation before it escalates further. Observers point to small yet telling incidents that might have foreshadowed these developments. From a supposedly frosty exchange between Anne and Camilla at a university ceremony to fleeting moments at King Charles's coronation where body language seemed uneasy, the public has gleaned that something isn't quite harmonious. Royal events are choreographed to the last detail, so any minor break in protocol draws immediate attention. Over the decades, the monarchy has weathered many storms: divorces, abdications, scandals, and tragedies. Each crisis eventually passed, either by recalibration or through the natural tide of public interest moving on. But this situation feels different because it potentially pits key family members directly against each other in a quasi-legal setting. If it truly comes to pass, it would upend how we understand royal dispute resolution. Will they settle behind closed doors, or could this become a spectacle in court or in the press? Such a spectacle could tarnish the family's carefully cultivated mystique and deepen fissures at a time when unity is paramount. For now, everything is speculative. Still, speculation is enough to stir conversation in newspapers, on social media, and across dinner tables worldwide. Perhaps that's the real cost of wearing the crown. You can't keep your battles private for long. The public invests in these personalities. Diana's loyal fans, admirers of Anne's work ethic, those who empathize with Camilla's transformation, and people rooting for William to modernize the institution. Everyone has a stake in the story. Each new rumor or development ratchets up the drama. What do you think? Could these rumored legal actions bring major changes to the monarchy, or will they just fade away? If they're true, the fallout might change how we see the royals. If not, it still shows how easily tradition can be shaken when whispers turn into headlines. Please share your thoughts, comment, like, and subscribe, because even after centuries, the House of Windsor is still a family full of rivalries and changing loyalties. Thanks for watching, and until next time,